Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. How
Waalaikumsalam.
are you? Everybody okay? All right.
Alhamdulillah.
All right.
Alhamdulillah.
Anything from last class? Any question or any comment, anything that you need to review? Good. Okay. So today we're going to finish up the chapter on integration. We are going to look at application. Now, one application that we will just consider would be on the 13.5 or 13.4. The idea or the concept of consumer surplus and producer surplus. So that will be the only application we're going to do here. Well, what is consumer surplus and producer surplus? What is okay? So that is the idea. We're going to do this, or the consumer surplus and producer surplus is an economic application. So this is one application that we will use the definite integral and difference or areas under two curves. So what we were doing yesterday is applied today. Okay, so we need to make use of all this knowledge that we know how to get the area under or the area between two curves, or that would be applied in order for us to find the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. So let's go to 13.4. If you have the book, go to 13.4. I think 13.4, 13.5. Yeah, 13.4. Look at 30.4, the part on consumer surplus and the producer surplus. That would be example number 4. Okay, so you go to the book, example number 4, you will see consumer surplus and now what is consumer surplus and what is producer surplus? Now, consumer surplus, we denote that by CS, okay, consumers surplus, or just consumer surplus, ES, and then we have producer surplus. Okay, we call it PS. Now, what are they? Okay, in order to get the idea, we have to go back to the market model. Okay, so you go to the market model in economics, where you have the demand, the consumers, and supply. Okay, demand and supply model. So the demand are the consumers, and the firms will supply the goods and services, firms or suppliers. Okay, so you have firm or suppliers, and here consumers, sometimes we call it buyers. Now, consumer surplus, as the name suggests, will be the surplus for the consumers. All right? Producer surplus would be the surplus for the firms or the suppliers. Okay, suppliers or producers. Okay, so that's it. Now, if you go back to the market, you consider a market for a good. So let's say this is the quantity, that's the price. Let's say you have a market for here, okay, market of a good, whatever the good is. Example, maybe one market here maybe Coke. Okay, market for Coke. So that's one good. As we know, the supply function will look like this. The demand function may look like that. Downward sloping, the demand function, supply function, upward sloping. And then the equilibrium would be here, where the demand is equal to supply. You will get equilibrium, call it X star, and P star. Sometimes, as we know, sometimes the quantity, we can call it Q or, X. These are the common notation for quantities. So don't worry about, whether they use Q or X. It's the same thing. It's for quantities. So given that equilibrium, that would be demand equal to supply. You will get what? You will get P equal to P star and X equal to X star. Okay, now what is consumer surplus and what is producer surplus? Now for the consumers, when you buy X star, okay, when I buy X star, I mean, we are talking about the exchange. What is the price that you pay for the quantity X star? How much do you spend your money on? What is the price you pay for X star?
P star, sir.
You P star. Okay, so you pay P star. You get X star. That means the quantity here, say 1,000. So you get 1,000 units of the goods to consumers. How much do we pay? We pay P star. For example, P star is 5 ringgit. So that's much. That's how much you pay. So our total expenditure, or I say consumers get X star, you pay P star. So our total expenditure will be equal to what? Equal to P star multiplied by X star. So total expenditure I can present by this rectangle. Okay, so that is the total expenditure. How much we spend. Okay, now surplus is not something that you can measure in the market. It's surplus is what you get. Okay, extra benefit, extra satisfaction, or extra benefit that we get, consumers, what the consumers get above what you pay for the good. Okay, so surplus is something additional. So consumer surplus, we can say it's the extra benefit that the consumers get. Now, it is not, you don't get it in the market, it is not something that you receive in monetary form. No, it is not, okay? It's just extra benefit. The consumers will enjoy or get beyond or above, okay? Beyond and above what they pay, okay? Their expenditure.
Hello, sir.
Yes?
Can I know what page is this?
I don't know what page. It depends on your book, okay? We are talking about what? 13.4, example number 4. So you just find it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay? I do not know the page number because depending on the edition, maybe the page number is different.
So
Okay?
it's 13.4?
Jumpa tak? 13.4.
Okay. I will search for it. I don't know.
Probably I think it should be 13.4 lah.
Okay, sir.
Regardless of the edition, I think it should be 13.4. Jumpa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I think maybe the page number is different, but section will be the same. So it is extra benefit of the consumers, or the consumers get beyond and above their expenditure on the good. Okay. Expenditure on that particular good. So example, in the example that we just showed, the market for Coke, all right, you pay 5 ringgit, the consumers will get in exchange 1,000. So the total expenditure will be equal to the price multiplied by X, that will be equal to 5 multiplied by 1,000. So we spend total 5,000. So that is the rectangle. Okay, that's the rectangle, which I shade in black. Now, the extra benefit that I get, okay, that we get, not just one consumer, it will be many consumers that purchase good in that market, would be above the expenditure, okay? Should be above the expenditure and bounded by, all right? Bounded by their demand function. So the additional area that we are talking about, which we say consumer surplus, would be what? Would be this area. The area above the expenditure, but bounded by the demand function, that will be this area. So that is our consumer surplus. So it's the area below our demand function, above the market price. All right, so it's the area between the demand function and what? And the equilibrium price or market price, which in this case here we have denoted as P star. Now, market price, P, is the equilibrium, all right? You get it from the equilibrium, where the equilibrium demand equal to supply, you get X star, I get P star. So that's P star. So the P star is what you pay, okay? What you pay to get the X star. So I pay P star, I get X star. So that would be the market price. But our satisfaction, our benefit is what? It's more than the expenditure. So there is an extra benefit. So that extra benefit is that area, okay? Is that area between our demand function and the market price. Now, what is that extra benefit? It's about, it's about your marginal benefit, all right? How much you value that good and how much you pay for that good, okay? So if you go back to the demand function, now the demand function, what does it tell you? The price on the demand function. So if we just, anybody? If you just draw the demand function like this, okay, that's X and P. Now the demand function, the price and the quantity, let's say you got here point A, point B, and here B, and that is the price correspond to something over there. Okay, now what is the meaning of the price on that demand function? Say here X1, P1, X2, P2. What is the price? What is the meaning? Or what's the idea of the price on the demand function? Okay, price on the demand function is our willingness to pay. I'm willing to pay that price. Okay, so the demand function, the prices on the demand function is your prices that you are willing to pay for what? for different output or for different quantities. Okay, for different quantities. For example, for X1, okay, for X1, the price of the demand function is how much you are willing to pay. Okay, you are willing to pay, not you are paying, you are willing to pay. So X1, I'm willing to pay what? P1. What about X2? I'm willing to pay P2. So that's why the demand function is downward sloping. Because the higher the quantity you are going to pay, you're willing to pay less. Is that right? So for example, if this is 10, I'm willing to pay for 10 units, 10 ringgit. If the quantity is double, 20, I'm maybe willing to pay 8 ringgit. Okay, the price. And if the quantities go up more to here, say here is 30, I'm willing to pay 5. Okay, so the higher the quantities, I'm willing to pay lower price. We are willing to pay. Okay, it's not that we are paying that price, we are willing to pay. Okay, all right. Now, equilibrium price is what? The equilibrium price is the exchange. Okay, the price that you agree with the buyers or with the sellers, I'm sorry, with the sellers. So therefore, P star is the price that we pay. I mean, the consumers pay. They actually pay that price, okay? They only pay one price, which is the equilibrium price, and get the equilibrium quantity. But other than those quantities, there are also prices, but prices we are willing to pay, okay? So the prices on the demand function is the price you are willing to pay, and the equilibrium price or the market price is the price we actually pay, okay? The firms, the firms and the consumers agree, and therefore we pay, okay? That is the actual payment that we make. I mean, the actual price, not actual payment. The actual payment is the expenditure. Okay, so if you look at the quantities, here, for example, X star, any quantity below X star, for example, here, 1 unit, or make it 10 because total is 1,000. And now, for the 10 units here, how much are we willing to pay? Okay, what is the price that you are willing to pay for that 10 units? Where is the price? How can you determine the price that I'm willing to pay for the 10 units? How do you get the price? Anybody? Baru cakap tadi. I just explained just 1 minute ago. For the 10 units, how do you get the price you are willing to pay?
Above the P equilibrium.
Above the P, where is it?
Demand curve.
It's on the demand curve. We just explained, okay? We just discuss that. So the price you are willing to pay, okay, is the price on the demand curve. That is the price. Example, maybe 20. All right? So that is the price we are willing to pay for that 10 units. Now, what is the price we actually pay to get that 10 units?
Oh, aku besok aku buat
equilibrium price.
You pay the market price. Is that right? I pay 5. Okay, pay 5 because of the exchange. of that 1,000 units. So for any quantity less than that, say 10, I actually pay 5. Okay, I value it. I'm willing to pay 20. So I'm willing to pay 20. Okay, I'm willing to pay 20, but I actually pay how much? I actually pay 5. So what do you feel? How do you feel? You feel good. Okay, so you feel what? You benefit. I mean, you'll be happy. Okay, because I'm willing to pay 20, I just pay 5. So that is the extra benefit. So that is extra benefit to get that 10 units. Okay, all right, good. So we proceed. Now for the next 10 units, okay, x equal to 20. How much I am willing to pay? I'm willing to pay the price on the demand function. Okay, stay here 18. But how much I actually pay? I actually pay 5. So that is my extra benefit. So in total, up to 1,000 units, the total extra benefit would be the area here. Okay, the area under the demand curve, but above the market price. The market price is the price we actually pay. But for the different quantities, we are willing to pay what? We are willing to pay higher prices than the market. So that difference will give us the extra benefit. So we call that consumer surplus. Now it is not measured in the market. All right, it's not measured in the market. What is measured in the market is just what the expenditure. But that is the extra value. Okay, the extra value that we enjoy as consumers. Okay, all right. Any question? So that is consumer surplus. Now, how do you get the consumer surplus? Now comes the mathematical part. After we know what is consumer surplus and what is the area that you need, okay, the area that you want, okay, not the area that you need, the area that you want in order to get that consumer surplus. How do you find that? How do you determine the size of the consumer surplus? So now we apply what? We apply the area between two curves. Okay? Okay, so how do you get the area CS? Just look at the diagram. I think we learned this last week on Monday. No, not last week. We learned it on Monday. Okay. So how do you get that consumer surplus? Anybody? Just think about it for a few minutes, and then we will get the measurement. Okay, first, what variable do we need? What information do we need in order for us to get that area?
0 to X star under demand.
Demand function.
Okay, you need 0 to X star. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2. We know the demand function already. All right. So what is the last piece of information that I need?
E star to Y intersection.
Huh?
E star to Y intersection.
You need the Y intersection. Okay. So you got the X value of that intersection. You need the Y intersection. In other words, you need the price. Okay. So in order for you to find the consumer surplus, in short, you need the equilibrium. Okay. Because you need the X star, you need the P star. So we need to find equilibrium. I get P star, I got X star. Because the area is that rectangle. Okay? So the area would be what? Would be that rectangle, that triangle. I'm sorry. If I say rectangle, I didn't mean it. I mean triangle. So the triangle is from 0 to X star. The area. And the functions that you need is, of course, the demand function and the price. Okay, when you have that price, that means in the intersection y value, you will get the horizontal function. So that price, P star, is the horizontal function, constant. Okay, constant function. So these are all we need. Okay, you know the demand function, now you know X star, I know P star, then we can get the consumer surplus. So the consumer surplus is, okay, now we go a step further. So how do you get consumer surplus? Area between what function and what line? Okay, come on, anybody. Area between what? So what area do I need? And what area do I need to take out?
Zero to X star.
No, the area. Just give me the area. Don't tell me, 0 to X star, of course. But area under what first?
Area under demand function.
The area under demand function
From 0 to
to
X
X star.
star.
Okay. So I mean, what you were saying, you complementing each other, complementing. You know, one person say from 0 to X star, another person say the area under the demand function. So the area under the demand function from 0 to X star. You know, that's what we need. Okay, so the area under the demand function from 0 to X star is the whole region. I mean, if you look at that diagram, if I just go back to this diagram, the area under the demand function from 0 to X star, suppose this is X star, that will be the whole area. Okay, now we don't want the whole area. I just want the triangle. So what do we do?
Minus the area integration from 0 to X star, P star.
Okay, you have to take away the area, okay, the area of the rectangle. All right. So the area of rectangle. So area of the rectangle here is the area from 0 to X star under P star of P star. All right. So in terms of what we were doing, I want the area A, okay, which is the consumer surplus. What we need is, all right, the area B, which is the whole area under the demand function, minus the area C, which is the rectangle. All right. So A is that portion. Now B is the whole thing. Okay. B is the whole thing. C is the rectangle. Okay. So rectangle is this one. That is C. So in order for us to find the area A, we have to find first area B, which is area under the demand function. Take away the area under the price, okay, which is the horizontal line. All right, is that clear? So what we have is the consumer surplus is the integral, okay? Consumer surplus is the integral from what? Is the integral consumer surplus, which is the area A, which is, equal to area B minus area C. Now, area B is the integral from 0 to X star of the demand function. Okay, the area under the demand function. And demand function is a function of X. dx. That's the whole area A, okay? Minus the rectangle. Now that rectangle is the integral from 0 to x star of p star. That is a constant function, dx. Okay, so p star is the horizontal line that, of course, you get from the market price. So that would be, in terms of the area that we were talking about, there will be A equal to B minus C. Okay, all right. So this is the formula. I mean, that is the area. That is the integration, okay? Integration that we do in order for us to get the demand function. All right. And of course, we are integrating. Okay, so this essentially this one we don't need now. So that will be equal to what? That will be equal to, we can write the following. Since we are talking about the same interval, two functions, so we can write them in one function. So it is d of x minus p star, right, dx. So that is the consumer surplus. Okay, I will give you an example. I think the example is, let's look at the book. Okay, we can use the example in the book. Okay, go to example number 5. Okay, go to example number 5 in the book. So, see example 5. Now you are given the two functions. Okay, the demand function is given, and then the supply function is given. So the supply function is linear, and the demand function is 49 minus 6x, everything to the power of half. All right, and we just sketch the diagram. So given the functions, first thing that you have to imagine, just sketch the curve. We can imagine the area. So that is the supply, linear function. The demand function will maybe look something like that. And we know the equilibrium that you need to find that will give you X star. And that will be P star. So consumer surplus is that area. Okay. So once you know where is the consumer surplus, then it's easier for you to get the integration. Okay. So sketch the diagram. Now the curve may not be so accurate. Okay, we just sketch. That means what is more important is you know the area. Okay, you know the area will be bounded by the demand function and the market price. Right. So what you need to find next is what? Is the market equilibrium. So number 2, you get to find the market equilibrium. So market equilibrium, demand equal to supply. Now demand function is equal to what? If you look at the book, demand function is equal to the 49. So you got the square root. So that becomes 49 minus 6x to the power of half. Okay, you bring the power to the other side, that will become x plus 1 to the power of 2, which is the supply function. So you have a quadratic function, all right? And then you need to find the roots. So what you get will be x equal to 4, and then x equal to negative 12. So we know we don't need the negative value, okay? So the negative x is not applicable, not relevant, because consumer surplus is a positive value. So x is only equal to 4. So when you have x equal to 4, that would be what? That would be the market quantity. So that is equal to 4. So now what I need is that price. Okay? So how do you get the price? Number 3, get the price. Now how I get the price? I substitute into what? You can substitute into the demand function. You can substitute into the supply function. Now, which function do we want to substitute into? We choose the simpler one. Okay. Simpler one is the supply. The supply is x plus 1. So substitute into supply. So what do I get? I get P equal to x plus 1. That will be equal to 4 plus 1 equal to 5. So I get the market price, 5. Okay, so just right there, market price is $5. And the market quantity is 4 units. 4 units. So we get the equilibrium. Okay, so that is equal to 5. So when you draw the diagram, you can intuitively see what we are doing. Okay, all right. So if you don't draw the diagram, that means we are too smart. Okay, we just boom, 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 you can do it. So draw the diagram. So number 4, you get the consumer surplus by applying the formula. So I go to the next page. Now, what is the consumer surplus? So number 4 will be here. Consumer surplus is equal to what? We know the area. So sometimes, you don't have to remember the formula, because by knowing the area, you can get the integration. Okay. So consumer surplus is the area from 0 to x star of the demand function minus the integral from 0 to x star the p star dx. So you know the area. Okay, you know the area. So now you go to the specific example. That will be what? That will be the integral from 0 to x star, which is 4. And then the demand function, you have 49 minus 6x to the power of half dx. Minus, okay? Minus the integral from 0 to 4 of the market price 5 dx. So what you do, this one is easy to get. This one is not so easy. So we do the one that is not so easy. Okay, now how do I get the integral of 49 minus 6x to the power of a half? What rule do I use here?
Kau nombor 1 balik dulu kan? 8. Pergi belum tak kau.
Okay, what rule do we use? Irfan Shafiq, what rule do I use in order for us to find the integral of this one? Okay, find me the integral. Okay, everybody, work this out. Don't look at the book. The book give you the answer. But I don't want to look at the book. I want you to do it by your own. Okay, now, get the integral of the demand function.
Taklah. Dia bagi YouTube. Yang marah babi.
All right, what is the integral? Everybody got it? I want you to do it first. All right, you have to apply the power rule, okay? So to get the integral, you have to apply the power rule. So you let u be equal to what? U equal to 49 minus 6x. Now what is u prime? What is u prime? Huh?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. Okay. Now we don't have negative 6. All right. So in order for you to get negative 6, I have to multiply by what?
Negative 6 over negative 6.
You have to multiply by negative 6 over negative 6. Okay. You don't multiply by negative 6 over 6 because that will be equal to negative 1. Okay. So not this one. You multiply by negative 6 over negative 6. So two negative signs because that will be equal to 1. Okay, so you multiply by that. Now we just focus on this one. All right, we just focus on the integral of the demand function. So now the integral will become, you can take out the definite integral because you want just to find the integral and then we go back to the definite integral. So you multiply by 6 over negative 6 over negative 6. You bring the negative 6, one of them, to the outside. Okay, and then you have 49 minus 6x to the power of half multiplied by negative 6. So now I have u prime with negative 1 over 6. So they'll be equal to negative 1 over 6. The integral of 49 minus 6x to the power of half plus 1 is 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2. Okay, of course, plus c, we don't need that c. And what is it? That will be equal to, so negative 1 over 6 multiplied by 2 over 3. 2 over 3, that is 1, 3, so it becomes 1 over 9. So this thing here, you can say out, that becomes 1 over 9. Okay, so negative 1 over 9. Now, once you got this, I have to put back into the problem. So that will become, so now if you do this kind of problem in the test, okay, so show me everything. Okay, don't write in another page of paper, you keep it for yourself and then you just give me the answer. I don't want the answer, I want the process. Okay, I want everything that you do. I mean the important one lah, you know. If you just write whatever, you know, tak payah lah. Okay, I want to see the steps. Right, so do the work in that page, submit to me, and then after this you get the integral. Okay, so what is it? That will be equal to negative 1 over 9. Okay, so that will be equal to negative 1 over 9. So that will be equal to negative 1 over 9 multiplied by the integral that we just obtained. Berapa tadi? 49 minus 6x to the power of 3 over 2. Now, that is one area. So from 0 to 4. Okay, so we got the integral already. Minus the integral of p star. Okay, p star is 5. So 5, integral is just 5x. So 5x, you can put a bracket there, from 0 to 4. Okay, or after this, you can combine the two. Okay, you can do that also. So if you combine it, that will become negative 1 over 9. 49 minus 6x, 3 over 2 minus 5x. Okay, everything from 0 to 4. or you can find the integral individually. So you finish it up, you will get 4.22. Bunyi apa benda tu? Syed, what is that sound? Huh? Are you sleeping?
No.
Bunyi apa? Bunyi yang melengkur je, ingat tidur lah. Okay. Any question? So that is consumer surplus. Okay. Now producer surplus would be the area, the other area. So producer surplus, so that they were done in the consumer surplus. All right. Now the producer surplus is the area below that. So let's see the diagram again. Mana tadi? Ini dia. Okay. Consumer surplus, no, I'm sorry, producer surplus is the area below the consumer surplus. So this area here, all right, is the producer surplus. Okay, you go to the book. If you look at the book, the producer surplus is example number 7. Yeah, I think it's number 7. Yeah. Okay, producer surplus is the extra benefit to the firms or to the producers or to the sellers by selling X star at P star. All right. So, in terms of the concept, it's quite similar. It's just that now the benefit goes to the firm. So, producer surplus, call it PS, is the extra benefit that the firms receive. Okay, extra benefit firms get by selling, by selling X star at P star. Okay, above or beyond their above or beyond their willingness to sell. Their willingness to sell. Okay, because willingness to sell will be the price on the demand function. So now it's the difference between, all right, at any X, the extra benefit will be, of course, be equal to the difference between P star and that P. And that P here is the price on the supply function. Okay, the price on the supply function. Price on the supply function is the price firms willing to sell. So now you have the other way around. When the firms sell X star, for example, 1,000, you will get the price 5 ringgit, $5. Okay, but at any quantity below that 1,000, so I go back, just look at the supply function. So you got the equilibrium price here, P star, that is the supply function, of course, that with the demand function. Now we look at the consumer process surplus of only. Okay, so that is process surplus. Now, when the firm sell 1,000 unit, X star. So say 1,000, the P star is 5. So they will get 5,000. So that is the firm's revenue. Okay, revenue is equal to what? 5 multiplied by 1,000. Equal to 5, P multiplied by X star. So the expenditure of the consumers will be the revenue to the firm. So revenue is 5,000. So revenue will be the whole area, the rectangle. Just like the expenditure to the firm, to the consumers. Okay, so that is the total expenditure. Call it the area A. Okay, so that is the total revenue. Now the firm get that revenue, but for each quantity, say 10 here, the firm sell 10 at $5, but the firm is willing to sell the 10 unit at what price? At the price on the supply function. Maybe here, 0.2 ringgit. All right. So the firm is willing to sell 20 cents, but he get 5 ringgit. So will the firm be happy or not happy?
Happy.
Happy lah. I'm willing to sell you 20 cents, but you pay me $5. So I'm very happy. Okay. So that is the extra benefit. Now for the 20 unit here, the firm is willing to sell maybe 1 ringgit, $1. But how much do I get by selling in the market? I get 5 ringgit. So 4 ringgit is my additional benefit. So I got more. So the area, the total area here between the market price and the supply function is the producer surplus. All right. Okay, now, how do you get that area, producer surplus? What area do we need in order for you to get the producer surplus? Cepat. First, what area?
Area under P star.
First, you need the area under P star. Okay, that is the rectangle. Correct? So give you the rectangle, but you don't want the rectangle. You want only the something that look like a triangle there between the P star and the supply. So now you got that area. So you have to take out a certain area. What area are you going to take out?
Area under
Area
S.
below the curve.
It's the area under the supply function. Okay, so good. So it's the area under the price minus the area under the supply. So the producer surplus, if I call the whole area here A, okay, the rectangle, and we don't denote the area under the supply function, which is that part, I call that B. So producer surplus is the triangular area. So producer surplus is equal to the area A minus area D. Okay, so we write that first because that is intuition or intuitively clear. So producer surplus is equal to the area A minus the area B. Okay, area A is the rectangle, area B is the area under the supply function. And that will be equal to the area from 0 to X star of the market price P star dx. And then you subtract the area under the supply function. All right. And of course, you can simplify that. You can write everything in terms of one equation. So P star minus SX dx. Okay, so that is our producer supplies. So in order for you to get the producer supplies, what you need is, of course, the equilibrium, where demand equal to supply. We already have solved this, you know. By our example, you got P equal to P star, X equal to X star. Example 1000, P equal to 5. Number 2, you get the area, okay? So once you got the E, I got the P star, and I got the X star. So now we can do it, all right? So if I go back to the consumer supplies, it will be similar. So one, you get the market price, I mean not market price, the market equilibrium, and of course you start with the sketching of the diagram, okay? You sketch the graph, which we already did, and then you get the market equilibrium, and then you get the price, you get the quantity. So you have to do all the steps, but you already did for the consumer supplies, so you didn't have to repeat the whole thing, okay? And of course, if it is not, then you have to do the solve the system here, solve the system. Okay, so you got 5, you got that already, and then number 2, what do I need? I already need everything, all the information that we need. So we just apply into the formula. So the processor plus is equal to what? Processor plus is equal to the integral from 0 to wait. Oh, we use the example in the book, okay? So this example is example in the diagram, but the example that we use is actually the example in the book.
Hello.
Okay, we were using the example number 5. Okay, so numerical example is different than what we were having in that proper discussion into the concept. So make sure we know that, all right? So this example is actually example number 5. So example number 5 is this diagram. X equal to 4, P equal to 5. So our processor plus would be this area here. All right. So to compute the processor plus, I will use example 5. Okay. I use the same diagram, example 5. So it's just, I mean, when you have the problem, you can find both. Okay. When you have the demand supply model, you want to find processor supplies, you can find the consumer supplies, because the consumer supplies is just above the processor supplies. So therefore, our integral will be from 0 to 4. Okay, the P star is 5. So the example that I put 1000 is the example for our understanding of the concept. But actually, when you do the example, I'm doing the example that is in the book. Okay, so that's different. So when you do this, I use the example 5 in the book. So the integral will be from where to where? The integral will be from 0 to X star, which is 5. And the market price, 4, I'm sorry. Market price is 5 dx minus the integral from 0 to 4 of the supply function, which is x plus 1 dx. So I think you can do it. Finish it up. You got it. Okay? So you do this at home. Finish it up. Okay, now I have 15 more minutes. Now in these 15 minutes, I will give you a homework, okay? So now we are doing a homework, class homework, okay? I want you to do it now. And then you submit now, okay? You submit now. Class homework. We are going to do this together, okay? As you move on, I will do it with you. and then you submit to me so that everybody will get almost full marks. So I would like you to do this question. Go back to chapter number 4. I'm sorry, chapter 14. Okay. Okay, this class homework is only for people who are here now. Okay, don't worry about the people who are not here. If your friend is absent, forget him or her. Just do it for you. Okay, so this is individual homework. You do by your own, do it now, submit in 10 minutes. Only for those people who are here now. Okay, for those people who are not here, don't worry about that. Okay, so you go to the 14.4. 14.4 or 14.5? 14.5. I want you to do the question number. Okay, do question number 19. Okay, question number 19 on 14.5. Okay, do that question. Now I give you until the end of the class. We do this question in 10 minutes. After that, you submit through classroom. Okay, through classroom. So I want you to start now. Okay, you start now. I will go back. I will do it together with you. Okay, if you have any question, you ask me, or if you don't, I will just discuss about the proper way to do it. Okay, do it now.
Sir, the question is about the Douglas, right?
Yeah, maybe the question is different if your book has a different edition. The question, the output function, the Cobb-Douglas function equal to yang 400 tu.
Okay, thank you,
400
sir.
x 0.6. Ada? What number? Maybe your number is different. Y 0.4. And then you see the labor cost 150. The capital cost is 100. Yang tu. Okay, if you have a different number, don't do 19. I want you to do that question. Okay? Okay, do it now. You start now, okay? I come back to you. Now I will put the question in the classroom. So the classroom, I put the question and then the class homework, okay? There is a class homework. Then you submit in 10 minutes. Okay, use a regular page, regular paper. Okay, don't use a small paper, use a regular size paper. And then you write in pen so that it will, you know, it's easier for me to see. Okay, I already assigned to you that question, okay? So you submit through classroom. So a regular piece of paper. Put your name, okay. Now there are still people who didn't put your name and metric number. So this is the first thing that you do. Put your name, metric number, okay, on the first page. And then write in pen. Okay, all right, now let's do this. Okay, in order for you to do this question, what first do you need? You need the constraint, okay? Now you know the Lagrangian. What is Lagrangian? The objective plus the lambda multiplied by the constraint. Okay, so first you need to find the constraint. Now, what is the constraint here? It's the cost. Okay, so how do you get the cost? Anybody, how do you get the cost? Okay, we discussed the solution. Okay, how do you get the cost function? Anybody? Cepatlah, siapa yang tahu tu cakap lah.
150x plus 100y.
So the cost function, okay, you let x be equal to the labor, which is already being written. Y is units of capital. Okay, so we know that x is units of labor. I mean x. Y is the units of capital. So write that. Okay, don't miss it, because we have to say which variable is which. Okay, so you will know now x is labor. Now the cost constraint is a linear function. So you know the cost constraint is a linear function that will be equal to what? That will be equal to ax plus by. And the a is the cost per labor. I mean, the per labor, per the average cost of labor. Okay, yeah, that means the labor cost per unit. That means cost per labor. All right. So you are given the cost per unit of labor is how much? The average cost per unit is 150. So you are given that 150. So it's 150x plus. What is the average cost of capital? 100y. So that is our constraint. All right. So now, okay, now we write the Lagrangian. And of course, you have to rewrite the constraint in terms of this form here. Okay. Now, what is the cost constraint given? It's 1,000. So you have 1,000, I'm sorry, equal to 150x plus 100y. That will be equal to what? That will be equal to 150x plus 100y minus 100,000 equal 0. Okay? So now you write the Lagrangian. So what is the Lagrangian? So the Lagrangian is equal to the reduction function, which is 400, x to the power of 0.6, y to the power of 0.4, okay, plus lambda multiplied by the constraint 150x plus 100y minus the 100,000. Okay, so now you get the partial derivative. So you got the first order conditions. Okay, what do we need in order to get the partial derivative? What partials do we need? Anybody? You have to share with other people. What are the partial derivatives?
Fx.
Lx,
Ly.
Ly,
L lambda.
L lambda. Okay, now you do. Be careful here. Okay, be careful when you do the partial derivative with respect to x or y. Make sure because it involves decimal point. Okay, so 0.6 minus 1 should be negative 0.4. Okay, don't put negative 0.6. So those things we should be clear. Okay, now you do it, okay? You do it. Now, if you do it wrong, when I proceed, you don't take out anything that is wrong. You just write the correct one, all right? Keep your mistake in the paper, okay? I want you to do it. Don't take out or don't erase or don't cancel, you know? If anything that you did wrong, don't do anything. Keep it there. And then you write the correct one that I'm doing. Okay. All right. I want you to do first. Okay. It's wrong. That's fine. After this, I'm going to review to go over this. So don't take out if you did wrong. Keep it there. Okay. And then write the right one. Okay. You finish up to here? Everybody get the partial derivative? Okay,
Yes,
good.
sir.
So now I do the partial derivative. Okay. Now what is Lx? Take the derivative of L with respect to X. What do I get? Of course, you don't have to simplify. First, just put everything there. 400 multiplied by 0.6x, reduce the power by 1. So now becomes negative 0.4. Y, 0.4 plus, you get the lambda multiplied by 150. So 150 lambda, that is equal to 0. Call it number 1. Okay. Now, what is Ly? Ly, the partial derivative of everything, or the Lagrangian with respect to y. So you got 400 multiplied by 0.4. Now there is no change to the x. Y is now negative 0.6. Plus, what is the constraint? 100 y. So 100 lambda equals 0. Number 2. Finally, L lambda is the constraint. So it's 150x plus 100y minus 100,000 equals 0. So that is number 3. Okay. Good. Now, if you do it wrong, write the correct one. But don't take away what you did wrong. Okay. I want you to keep it there so that we know where we get wrong. Okay. All right. So now do find x and y. Find x and y. So you are going to use 1, okay, you write, and then you're going to use 2, you write lambda, okay, lambda equal to whatever, and here lambda equal to whatever you get. Okay, do it now. And then you will solve for the x and y. Okay, what do you get? In terms of x, y, what do you get? I don't know about this. What do you get? X equal to 2y, y equal to half x, whatever. What do you get? Anybody who have got it?
Negative 8x power of negative 0.4, y
Lepas tu?
power of 0.4.
Just give me the solution. You do that. After that, y and x. Apa dapat?
Okay, belum cari sir.
Okay. I give you 1 more minute.
Y equal to x.
Y equal to x. Okay, some people get y equal to x. So, you do your own. You may get y equal to x, or you may get a different, but that's fine, okay? Just try to do it. I want to see your answers. Okay? Some people get y equal to x, y equal to x, y equal x. Okay, anybody get a different answer? Okay, if you do that from number 1, okay, from number 1, you will get lambda. So I think we write it step by step. So from number 1, you will have 100 lambda, okay, equal to negative, no, 400 times 0.4. Berapa? 160 ya?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Anybody
Yes.
calculator? Saya pun tak ada calculator.
Yes, sir.
160 kan? Negative 160 x 0.6 y. I'm sorry, I'm talking about something else. That is not the one that I want. We were talking about x. So 150x should be 150x. No, when I mean 1, I was looking at number 2. So 150x lambda, I'm sorry, lambda is equal to 400 multiplied by 0.6. So that is 240. And negative 240 kan? 240 x negative 0.4 y 0.4. Okay, now from number 2, I will get 100 lambda equal to negative 160 x to the power of 0.6 y to the power of negative 0.6. Is that right? So from there, all right, so therefore 150 lambda divided by, or you know what, I think what we were doing, we don't do this way. We bring everything 150 to the other side, 100 to the other side. So therefore 240, okay, 240 x Therefore, I think I'm going to do it. The lambda is equal, you write everything in terms of lambda, okay, like what we were doing. You write everything in terms of lambda. That means you bring the 1,000, you bring the 150 to the side, and then 100 to the other side, okay? So now I skip that because that will require me to extra space, which I don't have. So you have negative and negative. So that becomes positive. So what you have is, therefore, 240 over 150 x to the power of negative 0.4 y 0.4 equal to, because from here, so therefore lambda equal to that, lambda equal to this, therefore that equal to this. 160 over 100 x to the power of 0.6 y to the power of negative 0.6. Okay, so you see here cancel out, this will cancel out. Here you can use that becomes 5 over 8, 8 over 5, I'm sorry. Here is 5, and that is 8. Betul kan? 8 over 5, 8 over 5. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So 8 over 5, that becomes 1. So therefore, you bring the y to one side, x to one side, you get y in terms of x. So this 8 and that 8 cancel out, 5 and the 5 will cancel out. And then you bring the y to one side. So I think you bring y to the left. So I got y 0.4 divided by y negative 0.6 equal to x 0.6 divided by x negative 0.4. So now you bring the negative upward, okay? you will get X equal to Y. Okay, everybody finish this? So you bring the X to the, you bring the denominator to the numerator. So the power now becomes positive. So what you have is Y multiplied by Y to the power of 0.4 multiplied by Y to the power of 0.6. Okay, equal to X to the power of 0.6 multiplied by X to the power of 0.4. So that equal to what? That equal to Y equal to X. So you're right. We get Y equal to X. So if you bring the Y to upstairs, that becomes Y 0.4, Y 0.6 equal to. Okay, you bring the X to bring X upstairs, that will become X to the power of 0.6 multiplied by X to the power of 0.4. That will be equal to Y equal to X. So very good. Very nice. Everybody got it? Okay. Finally, substitute into Q, okay, or Z, which is equal to 400 multiplied by, oh no, not yet. Sabar. Kita buat dulu. Kita belum lagi cari value of X and Y. Okay. So you have to do this. So what is the next step? Substitute apa dia?
Lambda.
Substitute y equal to X into what?
3.
Into the number 3. Okay, into 3. Into L lambda. So what we have would be 150 X plus 100 X equal to 100,000. Betul ke tak betul?
Betul.
Betul. 150X plus 150X plus 100Y tadi kan? Betul. 150X plus 100Y minus 1,000 equal to 1,000 lah. Okay, I bring the constant back to the right. And this is equal to 250X equal to 100,000. And X equal to 100,000 divided by 250. So like I said, okay, you don't need another paper to do the addition. You do it here, okay? Show the step. 150 plus 100, 250. You don't just go express, okay? From there, X equal to 100,000 divided by 250. Of course, you can do it intuitively, but do the step, you know, because it doesn't take that much time, you know. It's as fast as you think. Okay, you write as fast as you think. Okay, ni apa dapat ni? X equal to apa ni?
400.
400. 400. And then to find Y, Y equal to X equal to 400. So therefore, okay, we hire 400 workers. Okay, 400 workers. That is example. That is the question part 1, part A. You hire 400 workers and 400 units of capital. Doesn't make much sense, you know. How come you hire 400 workers and 400 capital? 400 units of capital. Maybe this one is a sewing machine, you know. You have a shirt or clothing company, you know, 1 worker, 1 sewing machine. Okay, that makes sense. And 400 to maximize the output. Okay, so you hire this to maximize output. So we just do part A. Okay, don't worry about the part B. And then, okay, and then, so that is our first answer. Now, secondly, I want you to find the maximum output. Okay, the maximum output. In other words, given the constraint, or you call it the optimum, you know. In this case here, it can be optimum because you maximize the output subject to the cost constraint. So that will be the optimum. Or we can call it maximum because you know what we mean by maximum here is the maximum subject to that constraint. Okay? So the maximum, you get the maximum of the optimum Q, you substitute. Okay? Substitute X equal to 400, Y equal to 400 into Q. Correct? Which is whatever, which is 400 multiplied by 400 to the power of 0.6, 400, 0.4. So equal to that. So what you say is the maximum Q is whatever unit that you get here, you put. Okay. All right. Any question? Okay, I have 124 people here. All right. The number of people coming today is 124. So there should be 124 or less. So when you submit, I should have the number, you know, the X should be 124 or less. Okay. Put down your name, put down everything. Now, whatever you do, okay, whatever you do as of now, you give yourself 5 points. Okay, everybody get 5 points. That will be, will be a bonus homework. Okay, you give a bonus homework. That means bonus, huh? Okay, because dah habis dah masa ni, you know, next week, last week. So I don't have time to grade any homework, you know. I'm still grading your midterm. So this is your homework. Or maybe I will give you another homework next week, depending on time. Okay. If I give you another homework, it will be something like this. You do in class, you give yourself the marks, and that's it. Okay. So whatever you do, even you don't finish, okay, because I'm going through with you, you give yourself 5 marks. So to be fair to everybody, okay, everybody get 5 lah. So if your friends can finish, you also get 5. You finish, but you got it wrong, you also get 5. So that will be fair. You know, it's fair to those people who got it right, and we help some people who did some mistake. Okay. All right. I hope this one will help you. You know, give you this a bonus homework. Okay. All right. Now submit now. Okay. You don't have to do any correction. You don't have to do anything. If you do it wrong as I proceed, you just write the right one. You know, on the right or below it, doesn't matter. So you just submit to me now. Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
So we don't have to do the B and C lah.
You don't have to do what?
The question has 3.
Tak payah. Apa yang saya stop ini je. Okay. Actually we don't learn, you know, we don't learn part B. Part C though is just sketching the graph. Okay. Sketching the graph will be something like this. You got here X, Y. All right. Maybe the budget line you can draw. Okay. But you don't draw it now. Okay. You go home, you draw. But when you want to submit, you don't have to. But if you want to sketch the graph, it will be something like this. That is the constraint. Okay, that's the cost constraint. And the output level will look like this. So that is our equilibrium. So here is 400. That will be 400. Okay, if you want to do it, just sketch like what I'm doing now. Now, if you want to draw it nicely, okay, you want to draw it nicely, you can do it. You go home, you draw the line, okay? The straight line will not be very difficult because it's just a straight line. All right, if you draw it nicely, then you will get the intercept here. You get the x-intercept. You have the straight line. Of course, the cost, okay, the production function is quite difficult to draw, but you don't have to draw anything. You just draw the curve like that, because the Cobb-Douglas indifference curve will be like this, up there, down here. The one that just touch, okay, just touch the constraint, that will be the solution. Okay. So if you want to draw, you draw the budget line, but the production function is quite difficult to draw. Just draw the curve. Okay, it will be like this. If it is Cobb-Douglas, the curve will be always like that. If it is utility or production, doesn't matter. The shape will be the same. Okay. All right. Any other thing? Okay, now you submit now. Okay. You submit to the classroom. I give you already the work. Okay, it's the class homework. The submission time is 11:15. So you submit now. Okay. Now, if you cannot submit due to some reason, your internet, you WhatsApp to me first. Okay, WhatsApp to me first, and then you try to submit through classroom later. All right. Okay. Okay, that's it. I will see you again. Any question? Tak ada. All right. So now next week will be our last week. Is that right? Okay, next week will be our last week. So I hope, I'm still thinking, next week, just 1 week, whether we want to do some part of metrics or we do review. So now, if you have any idea, whether you want to do matrices or you want to do review, you share with me in the WhatsApp group. All right. If you want to do review, you tell me what chapters you want, and then I'll see. Okay, I'll see how many ones review, how many ones matrices. If nobody respond, I will decide on my own. Okay. All right. So anything you put in the WhatsApp. Don't WhatsApp me directly. Okay. If you want to do WhatsApp in the group. Okay. All right. So I will see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Macam mana
Thank you,
dah
sir.
dapat 160 ni?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you. Maximum output 160.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, they seem to be onto something positive, but it faded away.